I know Tiny Toon Adventures is a bit of a distant memory for most of us, and something unheard of for kids under 20. But god damn it, I think the show and its colorful cast of next-gen Looney Tunes characters holds up better than damn near any animated show that came out during my childhood. Sure, the same could be said for just about any animated show with a Warner Brothers stamp on it in the early 90s, but the first collaboration with Steven Spielberg was a success right out of the gate. Tiny Toon Adventures was an immediate rating sensation, swept the daytime Emmys for 3 straight years, and still lives on in the obscurity of cable syndication. But unlike every WB cartoon, okay, other than Batman, Tiny Toons has proved to have a little more longevity, especially in the gaming department. Even though production ended on the series in 1992 and not a single new Tiny Toons cartoon has been written since 1994, Buster and Babs continued starring in games well into the 2000s. Fuck yeah, we think Tiny Toons deserves another chance in the spotlight, and since it's unlikely to happen in any other universe other than ours, we're sifting through the handful of games to find the top 5 Tiny Toons games of all time.
Number 5.
If you're my age, and I know I am, this is where we get to talk about an era of Tiny Toons games you missed out on entirely. As gaming struggled to make the transition from sprites to polygons, so too did the students at Acme University. While almost all the other Tiny Toons games take the form of a side-scroller or pocket puzzler, there was a rather valiant attempt to bring Buster and Babs into the CD era with a trio of weird-ass point-and-click adventure games. No, none of them hold up particularly well, with the Toons' first and only 3D game, Plucky's Big Adventure, being called the worst Tiny Toons game of all time by IGN.
Here we go again!
Yeah, but now we have help, remember?
Okay, we're off!
Of the remaining 2, the internet seems to hold a lot more affection for the Great Beanstalk than Toonenstein, so let's go with that one. As a baby-safe fairy tale adventure of pointy-clicky trial and error, the Great Beanstalk could probably work just as fine today as a DVD extra, but the game features voice acting from the show's original cast and fluid animation somewhat convincingly ripped from the Fox Kids WB staple, and that's got to count for something, right? You're damn right it should.
Number 4.
It shouldn't surprise anyone with licensed gaming that Tiny Toons had the strongest showing on handhelds, but did you know famed eccentric Japanese developer Treasure made a Tiny Toons game? Debuting on Game Boy Advance in 2002, Buster's Bad Dream was the last Tiny Toons adventure game released on anything, and man did they go out with a weird-ass bang. Instead of the straightforward platformer anyone in their right minds would expect, Buster's Bad Dream is a Final Fight-esque brawler with a focus on combos and air juggling. If that weren't bizarre enough, the game's template was reused and refined just 1 year later in Treasure's considerably more well-received Astro Boy Omega Factor. Saying Tiny Toons inspired anything involving Astro Boys is pretty much the weirdest sentence a cartoon nerd could ever construct, but one thing Buster's Bad Dream did that Sega's game didn't is the ability to call and assist. Oh, you'd better believe they took the form of Tiny Toons cameos, as you could summon Plucky Duck, Babs Bunny, and even underutilized characters like Shirley the Loon and Little Sneezer.
Number 3.
Speaking of Treasure, here's something you don't see anymore. Back in the 8-bit and 16-bit era, it was not uncommon to see different consoles receive completely different games instead of ports, even if the game was developed by the same company. Beats the hell out of timed exclusive pre-order content, don't it? But yeah, Buster's Hidden Treasure is just such a case. Instead of a direct conversion of the Super Nintendo game that we might talk about in a second, the Genesis had an exclusive Tiny Toons game to call its own. There's a plot involving a treasure map stolen by Montana Max, but the interesting thing about the game is that Buster's buddies have been brainwashed, and each level concludes with you having to fight friends like Calamity Coyote, Dizzy Devil, and oh no, even the pathetically nebbish Hampton J-Pig. Aw, Hampton.
Number 2.
If those of you too young to remember Tiny Toons are wondering why your most beloved hated game reviewer used to seem surprised when licensed games suck, it's because when we were growing up, they didn't. At least not always, back in the NES days, and especially in the hands of a capable developer like Konami. And the devs behind Castlevania and Contra seemingly had no problem scaling back their 8-bit ambition for a more traditional platformer with the first ever Tiny Toon Adventures game in the year of 1991. Man, I love this game. Some say it borrows heavily from Super Mario 3, and to that I say, so what? If more games based on kids' cartoons did that, we'd probably still be talking about it. And I truly wish we could, because this game is still well worth playing today. It controls like a dream, features Acme Acres level design as consistently colorful and distinct as its rainbow cast, and was one of the few games I can remember that let you play as 4 characters that didn't star Ninja Turtles. The only thing I really can slight the game for is setting in motion the tradition of damseling Babs Bunny, which is a damn shame for such a strong female character. But then the game goes and makes up for that sexist slight with an appearance by Duck Vader! Take everything I just said about the Tiny Toons NES game, now double it. That's how fucking sweet Buster Bust Loose is. Its title may not make any sense, nor does the cover have anything to do with the game's contents. No, this is not a Tarzan-esque jungle game. Couldn't be further from the case. And at no point does Buster trade his shirt for Bermuda shorts. It's better than that. Instead, Buster Bunny runs, jumps, and wall dashes through 6 inspired stages, such as a Western-themed movie set, a skybound level, and even a wonderfully weird stage that consists almost entirely of an impromptu football game. Sadly, neither Babs nor Plucky get the playable treatment here, but at least the rest of the cast gets a chance to shine in interstitial minigames that actually don't suck. Buster Bust Loose is without a doubt the best Tiny Toon Adventures game ever, and although that may not mean much by comparison, it's still well worth playing today, which you should. And hey, until Warner Brothers and or Steven Spielberg get their acts together and give Buster and Babs the resurrection they deserve, your only option is to play it for free. Seriously guys, there are plucky bucks to be made here. Alright guys, thanks for watching another stupid top 5 video wrap. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out some of our other videos, and hey, maybe go to lasertimepodcast.com every once in a while. Say goodnight, Babs.
Good night, Dad.